I was going through the list and what teams were potentially going to be in the mix for Alex Sarr. I didn't even think about the Atlanta Hawks because you didn't think they were going to be in this position. But if you watch the NBL last year, and we understand this is not a Wemby situation, I don't think he's going to come into the league and have immediate impact, but he'll have flashes for sure, because the point that Alex Sarr made about himself, the defensive versatility, I think this is going to be a big part of his game that he can impact right away, particularly the rim protection. 1.5 blocks per game last year, tied for second in the NBL. It's on the offensive side of the ball where it's going to take some time, particularly the outside shot. He only shot 28% from long range on very low volume, so that's going to take him some time. Now, you mentioned the idea that the Hawks could trade this pick, and I think that's certainly a valid option if they still believe this Trae Young, DeJounte Murray combo can work in the backcourt. But I look long-term. I say, well, you have Clint Capella. He's only got one more year on his contract. That was a very expensive contract. So I think that if you do look to move perhaps Capella and say, look, this is a rebuilding situation for the Hawks, it might be a really good situation to get Alex Sarr in there, because I think it's a position of need for the Hawks moving forward.
Yeah, elsewhere on our mock draft, we have Aussie Johnny Furphy projected in the early 20s. And potentially to Milwaukee. And here's what our experts had to say about that potential landing spot. A 6'9" wing like Furphy who can make shots while also contributing in the open floor as a cutter could be interesting both in the short and long term for Milwaukee, which will also likely explore trades if more ready-made players are offered here. So, Kano, if there is one takeaway from the postseason so far, it's that a hard-nosed wing defender that can hit the outside shot is invaluable to practically any team in the league right now. So how ready will Johnny Furphy be to a role that will be given to him on a team that could be in postseason play?
Yes, just like a cold Furphy, these teams are thirsty for that skill set, Aaron, and Johnny Furphy might exactly have that those characteristics that teams will want down the line. I find it interesting that he is mocked to Milwaukee there, because if you think about this Milwaukee Bucks team that we've seen right throughout this season and in the postseason, indeed, they're old, they're unathletic, and they don't have many plays like this. Guys getting out in the open floor. He can do it on both ends. He had a 6-steal game earlier in the season against Baylor back in February. He's disruptive and an athlete out in transition. And the three-point shot is actually projects to be better than what I believe it looked like at the start of this year. He did shoot 35% from three. Now, we discussed a few times what a big NCAA tournament would mean for him. Unfortunately, I just don't think he was in the right situation. Kevin McCullough, Kansas's top scorer, was injured just before the tournament. I think that thrust Johnny Furphy into a role that perhaps he wasn't suited to. But I think he was impressive, and you understand why teams would be interested.